What's up, people? Look at my new sign, my What the Fuck Friday. Isn't it sad how this show has been on every day of the week? It's supposed to be on Tuesday. But hey, everybody who showed up, and those of you who came to the event that I sponsored for the Alameda, what was it called? Advisory Commission on Aging yesterday. Thank you for your support. That meant a lot to me because it's the first of their, I convinced them to try webinars because it just, these are the people that are on this commission are all retirees with, different kinds of high-powered educational and very impressive careers. And so they have a lot to bring to the community. So I thought, organizing them together and getting some of the knowledge, having people share the knowledge that they have that would help, residents of the county, that would be really good. And then likewise, anybody who listens pretty much around the world, since webinars are international events, could benefit from that knowledge. So it took me about a year to talk them into doing it. And so since they didn't know anything about it, I said, okay, that's okay. I have a platform, I can host it for you. And so that's what we did. So if you missed that event, and either you or somebody that you know is an aging adult, please go and listen to it. It's about the ways that people game on and abuse and exploit elders. And this is like a growing problem. It's just unbelievable. Even today, I read an article where some guy gave this, he like over $3 million to different scammers because, once they find out that you are easy touch, they just be all over you. So it's like a kind of thing. It's a mentality that, I think kind of starts that hunger for love and attention and the inability to soothe oneself. It starts early. And we see a lot of evidence that up here on this channel every week with people who have that mentality. If they don't get themselves straight, by the time they get in their 60s and 70s, like these people, they're going to be doing the exact same thing because they already do it. Thank you, Ash. I appreciate that. Yeah, I put a lot of work into it. It's all volunteer work. So, but sometimes you have to give back. You have to give back. I hate to see people getting taken advantage of. That's my problem. Well, you know what happened, beautiful orchid? I investigated it with StreamYard, and it turned out it was my fault because, there's a button here that you have to click that says go live. And I clicked it, but I didn't click it. You click it with your mouse. I didn't click it hard enough, evidently. That's the only thing that we could figure out. Because I do recall, putting the cursor over it and clicking the thing, but either I was not exactly on the button, or I don't even know what happened. But pretty much we attribute it to user error, which means it's my fault. But I felt so sad because I had put like this presentation together. I introduced what elder abuse was. I had like all this heartfelt, heart-jerking kind of commentary. And then before the show began, I had like the slide up that is going to begin, soon. It had music playing, and none of that got captured. And then a few minutes of the guy's presentation too. So I was like, man, you try to do stuff right and just screw up. And don't you know, out of all the years I've been doing this show, years, right? How many years before I got on this platform? That is the first time that happened. It had to be when I did their webinar. It's like Murphy's Law. So yeah, that's what happened. It didn't start exactly in the middle. It was about, I'd say about 8 minutes of his presentation were missing. Plus all the stuff I told you about, my intro and the pre-show stuff, pre-show music and all that. So I was pissed. I can't be mad at anybody but myself. But still, the gist of it is on the recording. So the best part is on the recording. Because you guys hear me all the time. You don't know how I talk, run my mouth. So that's nothing that you've missed. But let's get started with today's advice show, this week's advice show. The column consists of 25 letters as usual. The people who send in their stories and look for advice and thoughtful commentary from both me and from the listening audience. So if you're over here on YouTube or on Facebook, we're streaming on both platforms, feel free to jump in on the comment section and state your case. Share your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. So let's get started with question number 1. This is a female, the 18 to 21 age group from Austin, Texas. Summary of issue. Some people see him as too nice, but he makes me really uncomfortable. I'm an 18-year-old university student. I just met this guy who's 20 through another friend, and he is for the most part fine to be around. However, he, another guy, and I will often make plans, and he will offer to do something that he believes is nice or more convenient for people, which is fine, I guess, but I'm getting kind of uncomfortable with how pushy he is with it. Sometimes it's to the point where you have to give a firm no several times or just agree to the conversation so he can stop. It makes me uncomfortable to the point where I do not want to be alone with him. Very good. I was just thinking that. But my other friend, who I met the guy through, doesn't understand why it upsets me so much. This other friend must be male. He's a male or a dumb female. How do I explain it to my friend? What you do is you say this. You say, there are people who don't respect other people's no's. If you have to tell somebody no more than once, that person is dangerous to your health and safety because they are going to keep pressing you until they get what they want out of you. They're not going to listen to anything that you have to say that is contradicting that. That's why I don't want to be around him, because I feel like what if I got into a position where I was alone with him and he started trying to make a move and I said no and he kept pressing anyway. So then you're looking at, a date R situation. I'm not trying to get myself in that situation. And that's why I'm telling you, this guy is not the nice guy that he comes across as being. He's the kind who uses the cloak of niceness to hide his evil intentions, and he's dangerous. So you ladies listening to this, that's the kind of stuff. If the guy comes across as too nice, but he's always pressing you to do something that you tell him, no, I don't want to. I'm not comfortable. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. No, thank you. Just kind of stuff. And he keeps pressing you. That's what I tell women. If you tell a dude no, and then he says anything other than okay after that, that motherfucker needs to be dumped and left alone immediately. Don't think you can convert him or he's going to, you can just reason with him or he's going to be nice. Leave him the fuck alone. Men like that, with that mentality, you practically have to shoot them if to make them, leave you alone. And so rather than get yourself in that situation where it's going to be a you or him kind of moment, just stay away from them. Don't be around them. And really, this is when you talk about you, him, and this other guy, you make plans. You don't need to be making no plans with two dudes. Not at your age. That's too dangerous because you're too young and silly. You go, if he's going to be anybody, it's going to be you and a couple of girls and maybe them two dudes. So y'all would have a fighting chance if some funky shit went down. But just you with two dudes, and you don't know what his relationship is with the other guy. And Mr. I'm not taking no for an answer. Because he could also convince the other guy to do some egregious shit. So all in all, with the situation that you described, the more I think about it, the less healthy the situation is for you. Please don't go anywhere with these two dudes again. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. In college, I knew too many women who got themselves in a situation just like that. They think that, the guys played a good cop, bad cop game with them, but they're both bad cops. And they both working in cahoots. And it's all to get to run a game on you so that you get drunk. They get you high, they slip something in your drink, food, and the next thing you know, it's a situation. And then the girls always feel like, well, I shouldn't have done it. So they blame themselves instead of reporting it to the police. Don't be around these dudes, okay? Unless I said it's going to be 4 or 5 girls, and then it's them two dudes, then maybe. But I'm just thinking, I'm just not getting a good vibe here. I think you should leave them alone. Okay. Just one of them kind of dudes in a circle of friends is bad enough, especially when you're surrounded by people who try to make excuses for his behavior. So if anything went down, they'd be like, "Oh, but he was so nice. You know, you did. You must." So somehow they gonna flip it around. So it's your fault. Don't do it. Question number 2. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's from Burlingame, California. Summary of issue. My whole family is mad at me because I refuse to change my wedding date to accommodate my sister's schedule. I recently set a date for my wedding, which is about 8 months away. My fiance and I picked this date because it works for both for our work schedules and is when our dream venue is available. Well, that's written in stone then. When I shared the date with my family, my sister, who's a doctor with a very demanding schedule, told me that she has an important conference that same week and likely won't be able to attend. When she asked if we could push the wedding date to a different week so she could come, but rescheduling would be difficult and costly. I told her that while I'd love for her to be there, I don't think it's feasible to change my date. Now she's angry, saying I prioritize my own convenience over having her there. Damn, Skippy, you worry about the date for your wedding, sis. And some family members think I should try to accommodate her. They always think that when it's not their money, it's going to be lost on deposits and all that kind of stuff. Their venue is not going to be lost. They always have something to say. What would you suggest I do? I'm about to tell you, and you're going to have to channel your inner Deb. I'm feeling guilty about saying no, but I really don't want to do what they're asking. No need to feel guilty. Okay, let me explain it to you. Two people getting married, you and your fiance. Those are the only two people whose opinions matter here. You know, because at your age, wait, let me see, how old did you say you were? Oh yeah, you're 28 to 34. So that means ain't nobody paying no money on your wedding. You guys been in the workforce for years, so you're gonna be paying for your own shit. So nobody else has any input into what you guys do, how you spend your money, where you spend your money, nothing. Okay, and that's what you need to tell them. So if this were me, and I said, well, this is the date, and my sister said, well, I'm at an important conference, and she says, well, you're prioritizing yourself and your convenience over having her there. I said, no, you prioritizing some dumbass conference over your sister's wedding. I would flip that around her on so fast. You can go to any conference anytime, any year. But what you would rather do that than go to your sister's wedding. So what you want me to do? I can't I can't get another date for that venue, and I'm not going to try. The only way that would work is if you find out how much all the costs are and they pay for everything, they reimburse you for all the money that you would lose. And they ain't gonna do that. I had a job that did that though. I was going on a cruise, right? Me and her was going on a cruise, and we had paid our little money, and we got our little, we was excited, got our airplane tickets, to get them non-refundable ones because it's cheaper. And so we got, everything was paid for. My job at the time decided that they needed, I forgot what it was for. Something was happening, some event they wanted to do or something. And they're like, oh, we don't want you to go. I said, well, then you got to pay for my stuff. And then you're going to reimburse, so it's going to be double. You're going to have to pay for all of that. Plus, you're going to give me that much again because as penalty, plus my salary. And they thought about it for a while, then they said yes. So we got all our money back. They reimbursed us for all the money that we spent the first time. Plus, we got some of it back. If you cancel them early enough, you get a portion of it back. You don't get all of it back. So we got that. Plus, they had to give us all the money again. So we got free airfare, free cruise, and free hotel in Miami the night before the cruise because they pay for everything all over again. So that was like, we came up big time. Plus, I got paid for all the hours and overtime. So that was wonderful. Unless your family's willing to do something like that, then they don't have no say. And that's what I would tell them. So I'm not going to take a loss of your ass and go to a conference. You out your rabbit ass mind. Nobody thinking about you like that. I love you and stuff, but you can watch the video. You can see the pictures we'll stream it for you on social media. You can watch that. That's what I would tell her. And all these people, like I said, talking about what you should do with your money, I would tell them to kick rocks with bare feet. You not stay out my wallet. You don't tell me what to do with my money. Either do you want to come to the wedding, you keep running your trap, you're not going to be able to. Oh, I just realized they still had a wrong background up. This is my professional background from that I used with the thing yesterday. I don't want to use this one for my advice show. This is boring. Boring. I want this one. Yes. Here we go. Yes, there we go. That's what it's supposed to look like when we do this advice show. Yes. No wonder it didn't look right. I was like, why does it look like that? Yeah, that wouldn't work for me. Let's move on. Question number 3. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Jacksonville, Florida. The female's 35 to 42. So he's younger. Okay, summer issue. How do I discuss with my wife about her horrible eating etiquette? I'm 34 and my wife is 37, which may be important as to how you answer. I've been with my wife for 9 years and we've been married for 5. I would describe my wife as a sloppy eater. Not trying to make fun of her, but she eats like a 5-year-old. She lacks awareness of how she looks when she's eating, and then she gets angry at me when I point out the messes she makes with food. Okay, so wait, you was with her so that means you was with her for 4 years before you got married to her. So she's been eating like this for 9 years, and now you want to write a letter about it? Okay. Some examples. Anytime she eats something that contains sauce, it ends up on her chin and cheek, and she never notices that it's there. Will walk around looking like that after the meal ends. Are you kidding me? That she don't know what a napkin's for? The sauce also ends up on her shirt and in her hair. Hey, learn as you go. She has long hair that lays against her chest. So if the sauce drips off her food, it ends up in her hair easy. She never even notices the messes that's on her. A lot of times we eat meals on the couch in front of the TV, and most of the time scraps of food will get on the couch or on the floor in front of the couch. She has a problem not eating over her plate, so the food drips onto her shirt, the couch, or the floor. When I eat on the couch, I pull the coffee table toward the couch so I can set my plate on it, and I lean forward over my plate that's sitting on the coffee table. That way, if food does spill, it gets back onto the plate or the coffee table. This sloppy eating of hers carries over to restaurants, family, and friend events. It does get embarrassing at times. Over the last month or so, we've been eating a lot of queso cheese dip. As she's eating, there's small bits of cheese that drip onto our couch. It's white queso, so it looks like we have, okay, post coochie stains on our brown couch. It's now to the point where I'm embarrassed to have people over because they might think we have reckless nook on the couch and leave evidence. Every time, dude, they have like cleaners, surface cleaners that can clean that off. Every time she makes a mess, she of course does not realize it. Every time I point this out, she snaps at me and states that I'm lecturing her. When I do point out the mess she makes, I always advise that she needs to eat over her plate to prevent messes from happening. So of course she points out that I'm lecturing her. I'm getting tired of seeing no improvement on this, seeing our couch getting ruined, tired of her snappy, this is funny, attitude. Deb, when we're at a restaurant with her mother will point out the food mess on her face and actually grab a napkin to wipe her face. This is very cringy thing, watching a 37-year-old woman getting her face wiped by her mother like a 2-year-old. It makes her just look childish. We all occasionally get food on our face or on the floor, but my wife is like it every time she eats. She has awareness on everything else in life, but with eating, she turns into a 5-year-old with no awareness of the mess she's making. I really don't think she's on the spectrum, but I can't figure out what her deal is. It's never enough of a deal breaker for me to end things with her. It wasn't never enough in the beginning, but now I'm starting to lose respect. This has become a real marital issue that needs to be rectified. Are there any special words or phrases that I can use that get her to see my point and get her in gear to take better care of her eating etiquette? She probably does feel embarrassed to hear her husband trying to teach her better eating etiquette because this is something you don't hear when you're a small child. What would I do? I'm going to tell you, I would fuck her up. I know this is mean to see. This is why I'm single. Okay, because the attitude that you're supposed to have as a married person, to work with somebody and all this sort of stuff. I don't have that shit. That's why the man I was married to, he came ready to go. I didn't have to do no adjustment with him other than, the initial one that my brother did about that and them polyester clothes he had on. But after that, we had one other issue. Yeah, him coming to my house drinking up all my juice. But other than that, that was it. Everything, we didn't fight. We didn't really have too much going on to talk about like that. There's no disagreements. He knew how to act. So what I would do in this case, I would go and I would get me one of them spy cam things, and I would set up 2 of them in the living room so they get a good view. One is a zoom in, and one is a close or more broad view. And I would turn that shit on and wait for her to start eating, and then I would record her so that she could see how she looks and the mess she makes and how she looks after she finishes eating. That's what I would do. And then I would put it on social media like Facebook or something. I would embarrass her ass. because it's like, you are almost 40 years old and look at how you eat. I would put that, I swear that's what I would do. We'd probably end up in divorce court, but you know what? You guys know how I am about people in table manners. I told you about the dudes the dude that ate the shrimp at the table with me, with he ate the shell and all with the little legs on and everything. He's over there crunch, crunch, crunch. I was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. And dudes that chew with his mouth open, it's a different dude. Nah, nah, nah. You can see the food and everything. Just gross. I can't do bad table. I can't do bad table manners. That just sends me someplace. I can't do it. So this what you've been dealing with, that shit we wouldn't even be able to date because she would have, you know. And I told you, okay, I went on a date with a dude one time. We were teaching me to Mexican restaurant, and you know how they have the enchiladas with the melted cheese on it. And he's sitting up there. He took a bite of enchilada. His napkin still laying on the table. He never used it. And then so he's talking to me, right? He is talking to me, and he had some of that cheese that had melted. And when it gets cold, it makes like a little string, right? So he's talking, and that little string is just wiggling on his lip. He's going, nang, he's nang, nang, and every time he's moving his lip, this cheese is wiggling. So I'm cracking up because it just looks so stupid. And he thinks I'm laughing at his story, but I was laughing at it like, damn, your ass is 45 years old, and you don't know how to use a napkin, and you got cheese on your face. That's what I was thinking. And so it sounds like just like the situation that you have. But I had one date with him. That was it. That was enough for me. Can't do it. I'm telling you. So that's what I would do if I were you, dude, because you've been talking for years. And instead of listening, she gets defensive. So you don't, people sometimes you can show them better than you can tell them. Let me just put it that way. So once you show her what she looks like and how ridiculous she is at 40 years, damn near 40 years old, it shame her ass into understanding what you're talking about, then that'll be it. But like I said, you got to be prepared for a divorce shoot. If you're not prepared to do that, then don't follow my advice. Because my advice is rather savage. Because I'd be sick of that shit and I wouldn't care whether she left or not. The other thing is, I'm curious to know why. Don't y'all have like a dining room table? Why do you eat in front of the TV like heathens? That's a really bad habit that you need to break. Sit your asses down at the table. And when you get finished, maybe you can take dessert and eat it, in front of the TV. But why you got to sit on the couch? Sit on the floor. They use a coffee table like Asians do. They sit at the little low table and then they eat like that. Why don't you do that? The plate's close to your face then. But start eating your food at the table in your kitchen or dining room or whatever you guys got, like normal people. My God, eating on the couch watching TV. I don't like to do that. Question number 4. That's enough of talking about cheese and stuff wiggling on people's face. I can't do it. Question number 4. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Columbus, Ohio. The male's also 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend is very mean to me and I cry. Each time I cry, he tells me I'm faking it to make him feel bad and manipulate him. I'm 24 and my boyfriend is 27. We have been dating for a while now. However, I do bring up how I feel a lot and I think I'm a bad partner. He asked me about my nook past and I was honest. Idiot. What a fool. He completely lost his shit at me and told me I can't be with him because he doesn't agree with my past choices. He spoke to his friends about what I asked him to keep between us, and I cried when I found out that he told his friends about my past nook relationships. He said I was being manipulative, making it about myself. Well, see, because you were stupid. That's some shit you never tell men. I done told y'all. First of all, if you have a guy who asks you about what your number is or anything about your sexual past, and you're supposed to dump him on the spot because he's not supposed to be asking you that kind of stuff. And if he's stupid and immature or insecure enough or whatever enough to ask you that question, that's when you go, hold that thought, and then you grab your purse, and then you leave out the door and you never speak to him again because he's a fool. If you have a guy like that, he doesn't understand he's clueless. And you don't want a man like that because he's too insecure. He's going to be comparing himself to whatever you did in the past. And, they don't need to worry about that. They need to worry about what they going to do. How you going to impress me between the sheets? What you got? Let's talk about that. Wouldn't worry about the past. If they was that great and wonderful, they would still be here. So you don't need to concern yourself with the past, right? You stop dating him. That was a smart move because who knows what kind of things leprosy was on his hands. I just No, I can't do that. I forgot where I was. Hold on a second. Okay. Sometimes I'm overexhausted after working 2 jobs and studying at college. One night, he invited himself over for dinner, and even though I wish I had some me time, I made him dinner. You were supposed to tell him, bring what you want because I'm not cooking. My cat walked into the room, and I greeted him. He was so mad that I greeted the cat with more excitement than I had greeted him. He threw the steaks all over the ground outside, took the half peeled potatoes I had in my hands and yelled at me in my own house. He then took the food into his car and told me to send him money to pay him back for the food. He forgot the food and later it rotted in his car. He blamed me for that too. During our relationship, he would go out to clubs and bars and I would ask him where he's going, and he would start a fight and tell me I will stalk him so I can't know where he is. I have never stalked him, and that he is quote done with me, but he's magically back the next morning. Y'all sound stupid. During one of our fights, he called me a sad excuse for a woman and compared me to a broken down car. Yelled at me in front of his friends, said I make him depressed, called me psychotic, etc. Because I called him a lot of times because he had not responded in 16 hours. Should I have known he just wants time with his friends even though he didn't tell me? Well, I mean, why do you is it me? Because I just really don't give a fuck. I'm not going to ever chase a man down and call him. I don't hear from you for 16 hours or 24 hours or whatever. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Because unless we're married, I just don't care. So we just dating. I don't give a fuck what you do, where you go, and who you do it with, where you do it, nothing. I don't care. Now, if you want to tell me, that's fine, but I would never ask a man where he is. I will never call him like that, trying to figure out where he is and why he hasn't called me. I will never, ever, ever do that. To me, when women do that, they lower their value. You queens don't ever call around and chase around and try to figure out where the king is. Do you feel me? That don't never happen. The queen is too busy doing her own thing to worry about what some motherfucking king is doing. He's doing his king shit. That's what he's doing. He'll show up when he's supposed to show up. If he don't, then he don't. But I mean, it's not like you calling him and texting him 800 times is gonna make him come any faster. Yeah, I'll hear who knows what he is. I wonder too, Autumn, because it don't seem like it. But then a lot of them, some of them say, "Oh, I've been listening to you for years." I mean, some of them will tell you, but then they turn around and do the exact same shit that I've told them not to do, and then want to write a letter being all confused about why shit blew up in their face, and that's always confusing to me. Some of these people, I think you're right. They hear about me from other people or something like that, or they just happen to come across a video and see, hear the part about how you submit a question or something. And so they're not really familiar with the platform's messages and, our foundational belief systems here. I think it's something like that. So he tells me he enjoys playing video games more than speaking to me. He is called in sick to work 3 weeks to play video games, which I tell him is not great when he has rent to pay. I also bought him a new bed because he sleeps on a couch and have told him he smells bad and needs to wash his clothes more frequently because it's not hygienic. He yells at me saying I'm trying to change who he is. He's ghosted me for 12 plus hours multiple times. How is that ghosting? That's half a day. Girl, you just be doing the most. With new excuses like a phone dying or being with his friends. He said I am not wife material, etc. I don't know what to do. Is he abusive or am I oversensitive? Well, he is somewhat abusive. You are somewhat oversensitive, but the main thing here is that you dumb, you stupid, you desperate, and you have like zero self-esteem. You have no pride in yourself at all. So when you have a woman who's like that, what dudes do tend to do is bully her, because when people act like when people just lay down on the ground and like a rug, the natural inclination for 99% of the population is to step on you because you put yourself in a position to be stepped on. So we're like, shrug, I guess they want me to walk on them. So then we do. And then you want to write me a letter crying about it because you subjected yourself to a bunch of bullshit and nonsense. But see, everything in this letter that you wrote about how he's treating you and stuff, you took it. You stuck around for more. You never said, don't talk to me like that. You out your mind. You do that shit one more time, we're through. And you think I'm about to buy a man a bed? You could sleep on a pallet on the floor, like we used to at my grandmother's house when everybody spent the night. Bunch of blankets, you sleep on. It's called a pallet, and we would sleep on the floor. You could do that, but if you sleep on your couch, you sleep on the floor. I don't care where you sleep. But I'm not sleeping on the couch or the floor, so I guess I'm not coming to your house because you don't even have a bed. So if you got a man, he don't even have a bed. What good is that man to you? How's he living that he don't even have a mattress? I mean, I've heard of little dudes had him a mattress on the floor, but at least they have a mattress. This dude don't have shit. He's sleeping on the couch. Mm-mm. Well, you can't not exactly learn as you go because they have one time to do it, whether you let them, quote, let them or not. They have one time where they're going to do what they do, and you can't stop it. Okay. The power that you have though is you don't have to stick around for them to do it the second time. But you cannot stop it. It's not about what you let them do to you. They're going to do what they want to do that one time. Okay. But you are not supposed to be around for times 2, 3, 97, like these girls. So, I always have to straighten people out about that because they feel like, well, any kind of abusive treatment, you let them do it to you. That's not right. Because you can be mistreated by a complete stranger. You sitting on the BART train or the bus or something, minding your own business, and here comes somebody, verbally abusing you or physically assaulting you. You didn't let them do that. It's not what you allowed. It's what happened. Shit happens. But like I said, you don't have to stick around with, for the times 2, 5, 97. So that's a more accurate way to depict that. I don't like that, only do to you what you allow because that's victim blaming. We don't do that here. Okay. But once you put yourself in a position of it happening multiple times, well, then you're not a victim anymore if you've made a choice. And that's the difference. First time, you can very well be a victim. After that, you stick around, you're making a choice, and you have to take responsibility for that. Question number 5, female 22 to 27 for Norwich, you in England, UK, male 22 to 27 also. So I read issue, my boyfriend said that he does not see a future with me. Okay, well, done deal. What's the issue here? My boyfriend's 22 and I'm 24. Well, that's your first problem. We've been together a little over a year. In the beginning, it was a bit rocky. He preferred if I dressed more modestly, was jealous of my previous Nook partners, doesn't like my tone sometimes. Overall, we worked it out. Everything has been great, or so I thought. Lately, he has come over and told me that we should stop seeing each other because he doesn't see this being long-term because of a few issues. Some of them being how I somehow always seem to be negative in certain situations. That isn't always true. I asked if I could get a chance to fix it. Mind you, he told me that he's been feeling like this for 3 months. And he told me that we can give it another shot. We are going to take it slow. All that means is he hasn't found anybody else yet to screw. So he's keeping you around for that. No more spending the night or anything intimate. Oh, okay. Well, he don't want to do that. Okay. He's smart then. He knows no way for you going to trap him with a baby. For 2 weeks, that's all the time I get to fix the issues he kept from me for months. Is this worth it? Is he ever going to see a future with me? No, he already told you he don't. You don't want to beg for time. I don't want to waste my time if he's just going to hurt me in the end. I'm his first relationship too. I feel like he thinks women are supposed to be perfect, and that isn't me at all. We cut back on talking, and he told me he kind of misses me, even though it's contradictory to what we talked about before, pretty much the day after, and even said that I love you first. I guess I also said that too much. I feel like I'm going crazy, and he's playing mind games. But I also love him, but I don't want to be hurt. Oh my God. I need to start bringing on this show a bag so I can vomit. Yeah, she's young and silly. She's silly, but she's 22 to 27. Maybe she's 22. But there's different kinds of 22. There's like the 22 that's had jobs, been on their own since they was 18, movers and shakers. They already been finished college. There's different kinds of 22s. And then there's this kind, very immature. So what I'm going to say to you, young lady, is, when a man comes to you and he tells you, I don't want you, you're not supposed to say anything other than, well, thank you for letting me know. It's been magical. Once he leaves, or you leave where he is, or you hang up, or whatever the situation is, you go into your phone and you put block number. So this conversation, any text, and I miss you and all that old bullshit, none of that's supposed to happen because you supposed to have handled your business like a G and block him. A woman must have self-respect. If a man shows you that he doesn't want you, that's by cheating, beating on you, corner cutting, he don't, you can't find him, all this kind of stuff. Those are signs that he does not want you. Not the way that you want him to want you. It's just not. Your convenience, maybe, something to do, maybe, but it's definitely not love and commitment like what you fantasizing. So those are the ways that men show you that they don't want you. And then there's the ones who come and tell you with words. So either way, you know that this man does not want to be with you. And yet, instead of having some pride in yourself and saying, well, why would I want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with me? You instead, you beg him for time and I want to fix it and all this all kind of shit here. That's stupid. You can't fix it. You can't make him love you. You let him go. Like I said, you go in there and block his number so he can't bug you no more and be it up in his mix. Yeah, he told it right to her face, which is rare, because usually they just start acting stupid and then make you do the breaking up. So, I mean, even at 22, he's got more cojones than most men, way older than him. He just straight told her, this ain't working. And so I can't even, be mad at him because he was honest about his feelings and honest with her. Yeah, I mean, they don't even have to tell me. You just do a bunch of not even a bunch. You just do one or two stupid things. The first stupid thing, I would start looking at you like this, like the side eye, bombastic side eye. Oh, okay. By the time you do the second thing, I'm gonna deuce out because I already know what that means. See, you're exhibiting a pattern here, and one thing I'm not gonna accept is disrespect. I tell y'all this all the time. Most ladies that write to this column accept way too much disrespect. And they just, well, I'm going to fix it. But I love him, dude. And you know what? Yeah. Deb loves Deb. Always will, always has. I'm never going to love a man more than I love myself. So once he starts treating me in a way that I feel like is not showing love, it's not showing respect, boop, I'm gone. I wish more of you all would do that too. You feel so much better about yourself. Question number 6. We got 25 questions for those of you who are wondering, like how long is the show going to be? 25 questions, which is how much we usually have. Female, 28 to 34 from South Bend, Indiana. The male's 35 to 42. Summary of issue. My boyfriend's comprehension skills cause constant arguments. My boyfriend is 35 and I'm 32, and we're always getting into small arguments because he seems to lack the ability to thoroughly listen and think before responding. He just doesn't just do it to me, he does it to everyone, and it's exhausting. For example, I was talking about how mothers and fathers should both be held accountable for providing for their children. He interjected with, well, I think it depends on the parents' relationship. I said I disagree because the parents' relationship has nothing to do with the kid. He yells bullshit and goes on this rant, but the whole time he's literally saying the exact same thing that I did. When I point that out, he says, no, you only said one parent should be responsible for taking care of the child. And she said, parents, okay, with an S, that's both. Mothers, how both mothers and fathers, so that's both parents, dude. So he says, no, you said only one parent should be responsible for taking care of the child. Things like this happen literally every day. With me, with his family members, with strangers, even when we're watching videos and movies. I asked, did you even listen to what the person was saying? And he's like, I did. They said ZYX, and I said, no, they said XYZ. Okay, so your boyfriend sounds like he has auditory processing problems. This is a real thing. I don't know if it's considered to be on the autism spectrum or what, I don't know where they classify it, but it is this thing called auditory processing something. And they don't, when they hear stuff, it scrambles up in their brain some kind of way. It's really odd. We've been together for 3 years and it's only getting worse. He thinks everyone is against him and nitpicking at him. Any tips on how to make him realize that he creates his own misunderstandings? No, because what you have is a man who's stupid or, like I said, got some kind of problem that he needs to take care of with therapy or whatever. And what you keep doing is expecting him to change. What you see is what you get. How many times do I have to fucking say this? You women kill me with this shit. You get these men who are all stupid and fucked up and have all these weirdo problems that affect you and your relationship negatively. And you write to me asking like how you can make him change. You can't motherfucking change a man. Okay? How many times do I have to say this? You can't change them. They are what they are. They're going to stay that way forever. Okay? This is what you got, a fool. Now, if you don't want a fool, then you just leave him in the dust and go find somebody else. He's going to have problems too with the thing. My grandmother used to tell us when we were growing up, and I never understood it. She used to say, mine is named George and yours is named Floyd. And we would just be looking at her like, what's she talking about? But as I got older, I understood what she means, that all men have problems. They all have issues. They all gonna have something that gets on your goddamn nerves. What you have to do is find a man who only gets on your nerves to the level to which you can accept. Like it might be a gentle eye roll, you know. For me, it's like if I have to breathe hard, I'm like, if I have to do more than that, I'm done with you. A sigh, I can do that. But anything more than that, I'm not gonna be arguing with you about how are you a grown ass man. You know, you're supposed to be raised. I'm not your mama. I'm not gonna be raising you, and I'm not gonna fill in no blanks for you either. Do it yourself. So I don't understand what you ladies are doing with your energy and time when you should be using that to advance yourselves. You know, the time a lot of you spent chasing around after these men, you could have had a PhD, be making major money, making all kind of names for yourself, writing books and being in medical journals and whatnot, psychological journals, doing studies over in foreign countries and whatnot. You could be doing all kind of fantabulous shit. But instead, all you do is waste your life chasing around behind some stupid ass man. I wish I would. Thankfully, good for you. I'm glad you grew past that because that such a waste. Such a waste. Let's move on to question number 7. Female 35 to 42. She's in Manchester in the UK, the male same age group. So I have issue. Is this a good reason to end my 5+ year relationship? My fiance and I have been in a relationship for over 5 years. I know because during the relationship, I've caught him multiple times on cam apps like blank, I'm not going to say the name, and those kinds of sites looking to, 5-finger Mary with other people. We've explicitly talked about this, and I have reiterated numerous times that I'm not okay with this type of behavior. Okay, so over 5 years, you've talked about, reiterated numerous times that you're not okay with this type of behavior, and yet you're still there. And he keeps doing it anyway. So what does that mean? Those of you, I'm stopping here because I want to address this now before I go into the rest of her letter, and she has done more dumb shit. You tell a man, I don't like this. This is unacceptable. He's like, okay. And then he does it again. And then he does it again. And yet you stay, and all you keep saying is, I told you I don't like this. Please explain to me, how serious is he going to take you? You sound like a fool. You're just running your mouth. You ain't doing shit. And if I was a man, I wouldn't do shit either. Because, you say stuff, but you don't really mean it. You try to make a threat, but you ain't going nowhere. And that's why these men, they know that about you. You weak. And so they keep doing what they're going to do, because then he can have you and do that freak shit too. And what are you going to do? Write me. When you should be packing your shit and leaving his ass. But no, that's not what you do. So let's see what else you did that was stupid. I just decided to snoop through his phone last night. Okay. Because it was screaming at me for some seething reason. Lo and behold, I found out that he has a OF account and a Bumble account. Also, I just recently found secret Nook chats in his Facebook Messenger requests as well. I have been up all night sick to my stomach. I told him this morning after he left for work that we need to separate because he's been lying to me and he thinks I'm an idiot, obviously. You are. He keeps gaslighting me and saying that the swipey thing was downloaded from when he was in his previous relationship. But this phone is new, and this iCloud account was made in the last 5 years during our relationship. I found the Nook app has been downloaded but deleted, and he has an OF account that's been deleted that he swears he doesn't have. I sent a, quote, I forgot my password link to his email, and it wouldn't go to his email unless he had an account. I tried it with my email and obviously haven't had an account. LOL, I.want.2.fucking.scream with a whole bunch of exclamation marks. Did I mention that we have 2 children? An almost 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. I want to rip my hair out. I feel so defeated and worthless. What you should feel is stupid. Okay, so within this 5 years, you found out that he was doing this freak shit with this site and some kind of five finger Mary joint project type of setup. And you told him over and over that you didn't like that. And yet he keeps doing it anyway. That was when you were supposed to leave him. And you didn't. Instead, you doubled down and had 2 kids with him. So if you're looking for sympathy from me, you're not going to get any. What you did was make a series of stupid ass, dumb, broad decisions. And then now you want to cry and play the victim. Every single thing that's happening to you now that this man is doing, you pretty much asked for it because you have no boundaries. You just run your mouth. You tell him that you don't like it, but you didn't back it up with any action. All you did was talk some more shit about it over and over again. But you never went anywhere. You never did anything. You didn't take your kids and leave. You didn't pack up. You didn't even threaten to leave, it sounds like, because you would have mentioned it. So he just upped the ante and started doing even more freak shit. Why does he do that? Because he knows that he can. Because he knows you don't respect yourself. And so since you don't respect yourself, there's no reason for him to respect you either. Hey, Anna. Yeah, this is really sad. But you know what? This is what we see a lot in this column over and over again every week. Women with this mentality. Like they just have to have these bum, trifling ass, disrespectful men. They just got to have them. They just can't let it go. It must be him. I don't get it. What's up, Diva from London? We just did a letter from one of your, where is she from though? Hold on a second. Oh, Manchester. She's from Manchester. But over there in the UK with you. Yeah, she's sad. She's in a sad state. A 4-year-old and a 2-year-old with a bum. Question number 8. This is a male, 22 to 27 from Louisiana. Females also 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My girlfriend lives with me at my parents', but I don't want to be with her and she has nowhere to go. I'm 23 and I have a 22-year-old girlfriend. We have been lit together for over 2 years. She currently lives with me at my parents' house and we're saving for an apartment. I recently realized that I just don't want to be with her anymore. I finally get that we are just not compatible. We have different personalities and want different things out of life. She is by no means a bad person or not doing the right things. I'm just not attracted to her anymore and I want to be alone. This is my first serious relationship. The only reason I haven't broken up with her is because she lives with me and has nowhere to go. She was kicked out of her house by her stepdad and her mother. Her mother is a piece of work. She's a narcissist who sees no wrong in her actions, and her stepfather is just an asshole and a shit of a human being. Okay, I don't really care about the parents. And so the dude kicked the girlfriend out, okay, because she lost her job and couldn't pay him rent. And the mother just let him do that? Okay. The little brother doesn't have to pay any bills despite having a job where he makes twice as much as the girlfriend made. Oh, that's interesting. My plan for now is just to keep saving for an apartment and pay for the first few months and then break up with her. But I have been reading that if my name is on the lease, then that option is going to be extremely hard. I have a friend in another state and he said he could help me with a place to stay until I find a job. I work as a dealership mechanic and I make okay money. My savings aren't in the best shape as I'm fixing my credit, but still manage to put something away every payday. You only 22. How could you have fucked up your credit already? Oh, y'all kill me with this. Being that I work on cars and know a lot of housework, I feel I can find a job fairly easily if I move to another state. Yeah, I think you can too. And also what you can do is start sending your resume out before you even move to that state. And do a search with Google for all the dealerships that work on the kind of cars that you work on. That sell the kind of cars that you work on, or even use, regular garages. You don't have to be just dealerships, but I guess they train different when you're a dealership mechanic. They have a different style. But, you send your resume out and say, I'm planning to move to the area. I'm looking for a position. Use my qualifications. This is my experience. And then you include a picture of yourself smiling. And then wait and say, I'll be in town this week. I'd love it. You could do like a Zoom interview or something prior to that. And then, I can meet with you one time in town. That's what you do. Then you get your little ass and you put her in a place. You pay a couple of months rent, but it's going to be only on her name. Secondarily, what she really should do is just room with another girl. That would probably be the best thing. Find her a room rental in somebody's house or with another girl. They can be roommates and put her there and pay a couple of months of her rent and then just get on the bus, plane, or boat or whatever, drive, whatever you get ready to do to go to the other state. And then you go and tell her, as of this moment, we're no longer together because I'm leaving the state. But I wish you the best. That's what you're going to do. Okay? There's no reason for you to feel responsible for some grown woman. That's not your wife. Be real clear with her about that. You're not my wife. I'm going to help you. But, the responsibilities and obligations you're trying to put on me to take care of you, well, I'm not doing all that. Be very clear on that. I see a lot of you young men get caught up in that kind of little trick bag because you think that, I just think keep moving around. You think that you have to be responsible for these girls like they're your wife, and you don't. It's really sad that you all be thinking that. Let's move on to question number 9. We got 25 questions, so I need to speed this up. I'm gonna be here all night. This young lady is 28 to 34 from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The male's 28 to 34 as well. So I have an issue. My boyfriend's jealousy really bugs me. How do I handle such a situation? He's 31, I'm 28, and we've been dating for 3 years. I know if he didn't love me, he wouldn't be crazy jealous on some level, so I am flattered. You stupid. Also, I know all animals exhibit some sort of mate guarding behavior, so I know it's instinct and he can't help it sometimes. But I have a job and a social life too, and I'm going to have to keep interacting with my male colleagues and other men in social situations, whether he likes it or not. However, he just hates seeing me interact with any kind of men that try to be very controlling in social situations. He also hates me talking about any kind of man, especially when I want to complain about some problem at work that involves male colleagues. The problem is that I love him, but his controlling, jealous behavior and expressions really bug me. Any thoughts on how to handle this situation? Either you're bugged by it or you're flattered by it. So you at two opposite ends of the spectrum in the same letter. Which one is it? So either it bugs you or you flattered. See, I'm not playing these games with you. You all over the place here trying to go back and forth. That's probably why he acts the way he does. Because you be playing with his mind and then you turn around and want to act all indignant after you pump him up and he's jealous. And then now you don't need, I'm going to do what I want to do. I can just hear it now. Because that's the kind of attitude that you're expressing here. I know it's normal and I'm flattered, but I'm gonna have my interactions with other men, and then he just gonna have to deal with it. I'm not even gonna answer this letter. No need to run because it's just stupid. It's just she already in it, and like I said, she finds it flattering. She said that part first more so than she said that it's a problem. So I'm not answering this. I'm not even gonna get involved in this. This is some silliness. I'm gonna move the fuck on. Question number 10. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Tacoma, Washington. The male's 35 to 42. So I have an issue. Is it wrong to break up with my boyfriend just because I don't want to try his hardcore fantasies? Nope. Let's see how hardcore is it. So I have been dating my boyfriend, quote, Matt, for about a year. He's been super sweet, kind, and thoughtful most of the time. And we've had a lot of great moments together. I really thought we were a good match until recently when things got complicated. To be blunt, Matt has had some fantasies that I would call pretty extreme or hardcore, at least by my standards. Look, Deb, I'm not approved and I've been open to trying new things in the past, but his fantasies are on a whole nother level. Some of this stuff he suggested honestly scares me. I don't want to get into too much detail, thank you, but it involves things that just really make me uncomfortable and nervous. I tried to talk to him about it a few times and really tried to understand where he's coming from, what he likes. But the more we talked about it, the more I felt pressured to just go along with it. He kept hinting that if I really cared about him, I'd be more open-minded or adventurous. I even told him I'd be open to trying other stuff that's less intense, but he seemed disappointed and almost distant with me after that. Last night we had another conversation about it, and I told him I just don't think we're compatible anymore. He got really mad and said that I was being selfish and that I'm, quote, not trying hard to meet him halfway. Motherfucker. It actually hurt to hear him say that, and now I feel like maybe I'm being unfair to him by just bailing. I know a lot of couples have to work through stuff like this, but I also don't think I should be forced into trying things that honestly scare me. Our relationship is good otherwise, which is why I'm debating about whether or not I might be in the wrong to leave. No, you're not in the wrong. Your body is your body. Your psyche is your psyche, and your sense of self is what is yours to control. When men start trying to pressure you and tell you, well, you're not that you're being selfish, that is coercion, and that is trying to kind of guilt trip and manipulate you into giving you what you want. See, like I said, when you tell a man no and they don't listen to your no, they don't say anything other than okay, and they start trying to convince you that you should change your mind, those are the motherfuckers you need to dump on the instantly. That instant. Now, see, you sitting up there and you writing me about it and stuff, and saying that you hurt and all this stuff. You're not supposed to be hurt. You're supposed to stand up and say, yeah, well, okay, whatever. I told you no, and that's what the fuck I meant. And so you go, you want to do some freak shit like that, go pay somebody. So trying to look for somebody to do your freak shit for free. So you pay $500 or $600, $800 to somebody who's in that line of work, and they'll be happy to do that shit with you. I'm not doing it. And so bye, freak. Block his ass. As soon as you walk on the other side of his door, you block it. Block him. Okay? Don't deal with men like this. Once they start trying to do some shit that you don't want to do, I can't even tell you. I had this one boyfriend, and so he's like, well, he wanted to do, where it's 3 people involved. I said, no, absolutely not. And he's like, well, why not? I said, okay, didn't I just say no? And then he looked at me. Well, I thought it would be fun. Well, then you do it. You go and you find 2 dudes and you just go to work and make that magic happen. No, because I wanted, I said, well, I don't care what you want because I'm not going to be involved. I'm not going to be there. I don't care what you do. You can go find 5 elephants. I don't care what you do. You make whatever dreams you have happen over there some fucking where, because it's not going to happen over here. Not with me. And so that was the end of that. He just could not believe I dumped his ass on the spot. Soon as he had the nerve, the gall to tell me some shit like that, what he wanted me to do to be his titillating freak, no, motherfucker, we're not doing that. That's not my job. So see, in my mind, once I heard those words come from his mouth, I knew that he did not care about me the way that he was presenting himself to. Not to say I was in love with him either. Let me just be straight. But they try to pretend like they care a lot about you because they want to elicit that kind of emotion and commitment and connectedness because they feel like if you love them, then you're easier to control. That's what that's all about. That's why I never fall in love. I don't give a fuck about love. Love don't mean shit to me. I'll like you, but I'm always keep enough of my emotion back because the only person I'm really going to love is me. And so they, not understanding that, I'm never going to give you my all. I'm not that kind of woman. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep a reserve bank because I need that for me. And it keeps me sane. It keeps me level. And it keeps me a certain distance if I can stay objective. Let me put it that way. I need to stay objective because I need to analyze the shit that you do and the shit that you say. And if you fall too much in love or you lose that objectivity, ladies, your ass is going to be roadkill. I would never intend to do that. So, so by sitting back and looking at him like, okay, where is this coming from? What does this mean? You got that objectivity and that analytical stuff going on. Then you can see, this motherfucker don't care about me. He just here for some freak shit. And he thinks that he got me, by the little finger and that he can yank me around and I'll do whatever he says because I'm so in love. He don't know. I don't give a fuck. I don't love you. I didn't even have to say that to him, but he understood what that meant. Like, that shit ain't happening. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not about trying to please men and all that kind of stuff. That's not my agenda. So when I see women who do this kind of stuff and sacrifice themselves, it's like a foreign concept to me. It's like I'm at a science show. Like, wow, I'm so confused. I just don't get it. So it's interesting to me to see that some people, just go all in like that. That would never be me. Question number 11. This is a male in 35 to 42 age group from Rialto, California. Summer issue. I refuse to cancel a 2-year planned trip to attend my brother's last-minute wedding, and my entire family is calling me selfish. Yeah, they always do that when you don't do what they want you to do. I'm 36. I've been saving hard and planning for a big trip with my 2 best friends for over 2 years. This trip is set for January, and it's a 3-week adventure in another country where we'll be celebrating New Year's together. I've been looking forward to this trip for ages, and I talk about it often. This is a huge deal for me. My friends and I all worked hard to get the time off to save up, and we have planned everything out. And honestly, this is a bucket list kind of experience for us. Now to the issue. My brother's 32, and his girlfriend, they've been dating for about 1.5 years, and recently announced that they're getting married. They planned it pretty fast and having an intimate wedding with just close family and friends. They sent out invitations only 2 months in advance for a wedding that's in early January, right in the middle of my trip. To make things more complicated, my brother asked me to be his best man and to give a speech. I was genuinely happy for him and all that, but I reminded him that I would not be able to attend because of this long planned trip. He knows all about it since I've been talking about it a lot with a lot of excitement for years. He kept insisting, though, saying that he needs me there and that being his best man is more important than a quote friendship. No, it's not. No, it's not. I understand that a wedding is a big deal, and I do feel bad that I won't be there, but the timing is tough. Canceling this trip would mean letting down my two best friends who aren't invited to the wedding as they aren't friends with my brother, and would mean losing a shit ton of money. My family is split on this. Some think my brother should understand, while others think I'm being selfish for not adjusting my plans for his big day. What would you do, Deb? I would tell him, look, motherfucker, you just started planning this shit. I've been planning mine for 2 years, so mine takes precedent. You move your date to February when I'm back. Other than that, I'm not going to be there, and that's just that. Find somebody else. The end. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm just going to tell you one time, this is the deal. Now, if it's that important to you that I be there, then you change your wedding date. Otherwise, you just walk down the aisle and find somebody else or just stand up there by yourself. I only known the bride for a year and a half. It's not like it's a big deal anyway. Because people could always have more than one wedding. What I'm not going to have is this opportunity right here. This is once in a lifetime. Your shit probably a couple of years from now, you be marrying somebody else. I'm not tripping. Of course, that'll really piss him off, but oh well. Question number 12. Where's my nose itching all of a sudden? Female, 28 to 34 from Montreal, Canada. Sorry, issue. I'm overwhelmed by a work colleague. I started a new job last year and I met a really nice woman, the same age as me. We bonded and have good chats, etc. A year later, I find myself drained by her. She has taken to ringing me at home in the evenings and weekends. Evenings? You just saw her during the day. What's she calling you at night for? I often don't answer and text instead asking, is everything okay? And she responds with a love heart and then ring again later. I know it's my fault as I was too friendly. I've had a good group of friends and I'm happy with that. I prefer to just keep her as a work colleague. Basically, I'm becoming overwhelmed by the phone calls. I hate offending people. This is the kind of what got me into this mess. I think I'm a bit of a people pleaser. You think? What do I do? My friend said to just ignore the phone calls, but I get anxious doing that. I'm actually starting to turn my phone off, but I can't always do that with elderly parents. Any advice? She's a lovely person. I suspect she doesn't have many friends because she'll say things like, I'm so glad we're friends, ... Any suggestion for how I can go back to just being a work colleague? I know it's my fault because I'm very open and friendly, but I'm like that with everyone. So I suspect she thinks I'm a better friend than I am. Well, you have to grow a fucking pair. Where the hell is your ovaries? I just can't stand weak ass bras like you. It just gets on my nerves. You just let people steamroll you. A good thing she's not a man, because you would really be in a state. You can't have no voice and don't stand up for yourself, have no goddamn spine. Just a weak old, this is stupid. All you have to do is say, look, you started calling me at weekends and evenings. I don't want you to do that. That's the time I spend with my family. I have aging parents. I have a lot of responsibilities, and that's the time I need. I will see you at work and talk to you at work, but that's where it's going to start, and that's where it's going to end. To make myself clear, and she's going to say yes, and then it'll be over. That took 20 seconds at the most for me to say that, and you had to spend way more than that writing this letter and pleading all this bullshit and whining like a big ass baby. Grown ass woman acting like this. It makes no damn sense. Grow up, grow a spine, and use your words. Okay? This still make no damn sense. Like I said, it's a good thing she's not some kind of really aggressive man because you wouldn't stand a chance. Question number 13. Female, 35. Guess by the time she called the first time, what you calling me for? I just saw you at the office. Well, something. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. I'll talk to you at work. That's the only place I'm going to be talking to you. Okay, work stays at work. I'll be friendly to you and stuff, but we're not going to be buddies like what you trying to do outside of work. Because I don't roll like that. I don't mix my personal life with business associates. So let's not do that. And then she would have been fine with it. But see, you have to have boundaries and you have to be able to communicate them without feeling guilty and have a spine and say your words. It's like if you have a person like this, and if you like this, and you a people pleaser and stuff like that, don't have any kids. Don't have children. Do not have children. because you would not be able to protect your kids from nobody. You'd be worried about pleasing other people, hurting other people's feelings, other than protecting your children, because you don't have that bear attitude. Don't ever have children. Don't do it. You'd be unfair to them. You'd hurt them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Change that wedding date. That would be it. But I probably would have said, done some bullshit, like said, yeah, I'll be there, and then left for my trip and turned my phone off. And he would have been at his wedding trying to figure out where I was. That's how you have to do some people like that when they start trying to argue with you when you say no. Say, okay, you're right, I'll be there. And then you just jump on the plane and go where you going and turn your phone off. You'll be in another country. They'll see you when you get back and he'll already be married and be like, oh yeah, forgot. Question number 13. This is a female, 35 to 42, from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Female, and another female who's 57 to 65. Serve issue: my mother's long-winded conversation. My mother seems to be getting worse with this as she gets older. She'll tell a story and it just goes on and on and on for ages. It is so boring to listen to. She just talks and talks with no point to anything. It's so frustrating. I notice other people getting frustrated with her to the point where they actually avoid her, like when out walking the dog. I mentioned to her that her stories are too long-winded and that she needs to cut to the point and be more concise. However, she can't take any criticism, yet wonders why her friends and family have started going quiet. If she's at anyone's house, she will stay for hours and hours just talking blankly. I was telling her about my son's accident, and she jumped straight into a story about how her brother was always in the hospital as a child. I didn't even get to say what happened to my son. Any story I tell, she goes on about something that she experienced in the past or heard or saw from someone or TV. She would talk about what happens in movies and soap operas in minute detail. She would talk about it for an hour if not interrupted. Deb, I know you worked with older adults in APS in the past. Is this something I should worry about? I'm starting to wonder if it may be an early sign of dementia, as remember my grandmother had it the same way before she got diagnosed with it. Yes, it is a sign of dementia. They talk and talk, sometimes because they don't, if you notice, like as they're talking, it wanders around and stuff because they can't remember what they just said. So they're just using words. Sometimes it's just, because they're so lonely, that's how they feel like they're trying to bond with somebody. But it is a problem with dementia patients. They talk a lot. Some of them talk a lot about nothing. And you just be sitting there like, what the fuck is you talking about? They don't even know. So getting mad about it is not the lick. It's going to be pointless. So yes, I think you're correct that is definitely a sign of dementia. And if you have a family history of it, that would most likely be what's going on. You might want to take her to a doctor, see if they can give her some pills to slow that shit down. It might be too late. But you got to start thinking, if she gets a diagnosis of dementia, what you going to do? Because there's going to come a point where she can't be by herself. She's going to need a caretaker, somebody going to have to live with her, or she's going to have to go into an old folk, like a memory center or something like that. So what you going to do? One thing I remember the social workers talking about a lot is dementia patient responds well to music. So whatever her music, like the era of her youth, when her memory was still good and stuff, play that kind of music and they sing along and stuff like that. It's supposed to help their brain. It helps their brain and it'll help them have something to do with their mouths and mutter nonsensical conversation. She'll be singing and she'll be happy and, people won't be irritated unless you can't sing. Then of course you'll be irritated at that. But I don't know. I'm just trying to come up with some ideas to help you because I know that shit would drive me crazy. It's like, I don't know what to tell you, but that's the best suggestion that I have. But you might want to consult with a physician, a dementia specialist, and take her there because they're going to tell you some stuff about what to expect and what you should, what you can do to help her. Because I would imagine if your grandmother had it, that was probably when you were a lot younger and you weren't a capable adult yet. So you're going to you're going to have a different level of responsibility, rather, to your mom than you did to your grandmother because you would have been too young. Question number 14. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Woodbridge, New Jersey. The male's also 22 to 27. Sir, issue: I have been having thoughts of leaving my boyfriend for some time, and I'm not sure how to do it. I've been with my really loving partner. He's 23 and I'm 22 for almost 2 years. For a couple of months now, I can't get the thought of my head that I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. He hasn't really done anything wrong. He is super loving and treats me well, so I feel awfully guilty for thinking this. He has a lot going on, though, in his personal life that has affected our relationship, but we always got through it together. I just feel that I'm losing the spark, and so it's conflicting. He's also been extremely clingy and anxious with me recently, and I feel it's not really helping how I'm feeling. I feel bad. I feel I can't give him the love he deserves. It feels like he loves me more than I do him these days, and that also makes me feel bad. I don't know how to approach this feeling with him because he always goes on about how he's scared he's going to lose me or I'm going to leave him. How do I go about this? Should I just wait it out or talk to him before making any big decisions? Well, yeah, of course you've been with him for 2 years. You can't just like sky up on dude and leave him. You definitely need to have a conversation with him. And what you would probably want to do is say, I'm really I'm going through a crisis, and I want to, tell you what's going on. And then you tell them that I'm thinking, I don't want to. It's nothing that you've done, but I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. I just feel like choked, confined. I can't take it. But I want to reiterate, it has nothing to do with you. You haven't done anything wrong. So don't blame yourself. Don't get upset. It's just that I've changed and now I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. Not right now. And it's gonna be a hard pill for him to swallow, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's what I think too, Mo. He's sensing it. Because there's no you know what I mean? If you've been close to somebody for a year and a half or something, and then some months down the road they start kind of feeling something different, you're gonna pick up on it. It's impossible not to. So yeah, I think that's what's happening too. He's feeling insecure because he's getting the vibe. He knows the end is near. So let's move on, poor little thing. But yeah, talk it out with him and then tell him and then leave. Question number 15. Give him that closure. Female 28 to 34 in Liverpool, England. Male 28 to 34 as well. Some have issued. Deb, my very, and she put that in caps. New boyfriend keeps telling me what to do. How can I raise this with him and make him stop? We were friends for a year or so before this, which does make a difference as we already know each other well. But less than 2 weeks into dating, he keeps telling me what to do. 2 weeks? We are 31 and 32 now, and I don't need him to structure my life. I was already in an 11-year dead bedroom relationship before this. So I've been living for someone else my entire adult life. And since anything's 4 months ago, I'm finally free to live how I like. So you was only single for 4 months and now you hooked up with this idiot? Part of living how I like was being with who I wanted and getting to have fun again. He's moving quite fast, and I've had to tell him to slow it down. He's told his friends and family about me already and is making future plans. Whereas I've only just moved out of my ex's house, but we still share a mortgage. Here are some of the things he's already telling me what to do. Okay, first of all, let me just stop before I read all his bossy behavior. Why did you not tell him, look, I just want to date a little bit. I'm not trying to be in a relationship. I just got out of a 4-year relationship. 4 months ago, I got out of an 11-year relationship. I'm not ready for anything serious. I'm not trying to be with nobody. I just want to have a good time. I'm going to see you and 4 or 5 other people at the same time. If you're not okay with that, then that's fine. I'm just letting you know that's how it's going to be. That's what you should have done. But no, you didn't do that. So now here we go. Here are some of the things he's already telling me what to do and not do. I want to buy my own little flat, something to call my own. He keeps telling me that it's a bad idea and a tie and will take ages. He doesn't approve and tries to put me off. When I get my own place, I want to get a dog. I had them all my life growing up and I miss it terribly. A pet sits to fill the void. He goes very serious and says it's a bad idea as I won't be able to travel with him at the drop of a hat. Not something I ever said I wanted to do anyway. He even trying to convince me not to get a dog ever since. He gets impatient and slightly annoyed when I fell asleep on the sofa and didn't go to bed when he told me I should. Said I'm stubborn and being annoying. He doesn't like that I play games with my friend on Saturday nights 2 to 3 times a month and said I should spend Saturdays with him instead. Said I shouldn't start horseback riding again as I don't have the time. I've had horses all my life and still have 2 retired ones. I don't want to lose the skill. Wow, he's a trip. And this is all only in 2 weeks. Wow. Deb, I am painfully attracted to him and have fantasized about being with him for so long. We are so compatible in every other way. Other than that, I hate being told what to do, and he keeps doing it. It's so early on in the relationship that I don't even know how to broach this subject with him. What would be a good way to go about it? I feel like I've been a doll all my life that people expect to do as I'm told and sit pretty on the shelf. Well, because you don't fucking speak up. You just sit there and just let him bat you around and tell you what to do. And you haven't not one time rose up on his ass and said, look, don't fucking tell me what to do, god damn it. I do what the fuck I want to do. The next time you try to tell me what to do or tell rain on my parade, we're gonna be done here. Do you understand? Because I'm only into this for 2 weeks and we can be that won't be shit for me to be in the wind. So you either shut up and you go along with the program the way that I want to run my program, or you get to walking. Those are the two choices. There's no C here. It's only A and B. You do it my way, or you go elsewhere and do it your way. So that's it. Those are your two choices. Yeah. He not even her husbands don't even do that shit. If you got the right kind of husband, if you got a fool, then that's on you. But you got a true partner, they're not gonna try to control you like this. He don't like nothing. So okay, let's give the Deb responses. I want to buy my own little flat to call my own. He telling me it's a bad idea and it will take ages. He doesn't approve and tries to put me off. Okay, and then he says he thinks it's a bad idea. I didn't ask you what you thought. This is what I'm going to do with my money. I didn't ask your opinion, and I'm not asking for no money. So you don't get to have a thought about what I fucking do. Shut up. Okay? Deb's response. Deb's response to number 1 and 2. I want to get a dog. He says it's a bad idea and I want me to travel with him at the drop of a hat. Now, I never said I want to travel with you anyway. I barely know your ass. What makes you think I'm going to be going somewhere with you? The way things are going around here, the way you want to try to control every goddamn thing, we won't even be talking to each other next week. So I'm definitely not going to pay no attention to what you're talking about. I'm going to get a dog because that's what I want. And then number 3, he gets impatient when I fall asleep on the sofa and didn't go to bed when he told me I should. I'm stubborn and being annoying. Well, then fuck you very much. What you want me? I'm gonna get my shit and leave. Okay, I can go sleep on my couch in peace at my house. That's what I'm gonna do. Doesn't like to play video games on Saturday nights. Says I should spend Saturdays with him instead. Nope, this is something I've been doing for years. I'm going to keep doing it, and you gonna like it. And he said I shouldn't start horseback riding again. I don't have the time. Motherfucker, what is you, my secretary now? You got my calendar and you know what the fuck I'm doing every day for every minute? Fuck out of here. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I like riding horses. You don't have to like it. Nobody asked your opinion. Okay, but see, this is the problem here. You're attracted to him. What are you attracted to a man who does this kind of stuff for? That's confusing to me. That would make me not be attracted in an instant. One thing I cannot stand is a man who tries to tell me what to do. I just don't like that at all. I don't like it. I don't even like it when people who are paying me try to tell me what to do. So I'm not going. It's not going to go down with somebody who I'm just dating. Because I can tell you all about me and my bosses. Well, we want you to do this. Nope, I'm not doing that, said Deborah. Well, but this is what we want. Well, that goes against my moral code. I'm not doing that. That's not right. Or that's not my job. I use that one. That's not my job. That's so-and-so's responsibility. Well, can't you just help out? No, I sure can't. Because if I'm using my time to do that, then that means I'm not doing my job. And there's one law firm I worked at. This girl, she used to just sit up there and talk on the phone. Have her boyfriend visit and they'd sit there for hours. She wouldn't be doing no work. She wanted to go put it on other people's desk. So I went to my boss. I said, yo, dude, let me tell you what's going on here. This girl, you give her stuff to do, she's gonna put it back on my desk. Because I worked for a partner and she worked for one associate. The associates do all the work. So I go put it on her desk. She got somebody in back on mine. I go down, I'll put it back on her. Don't put this back on my desk. You do it. This is your job, this is your boss. I go back to my desk. So I go to my boss's office. I said, what just happened? So I told him, I said, then I found out that she's been doing that to all these secretaries up and down. This has been going on for years. I had just come there. And he's like, well, but something. I said, some of people supposed to help out. I said, let me tell you how this is going to go. If I'm going to do 2 people's work, you're going to give me 2 paychecks. Because that means that, and she's not necessary. So then I want her paycheck. Are you prepared to do that? And he says, he just looked at me, everywhere I go, I used to be the only black one. And you know how my attitude is. They be like, this bitch is crazy. And so I was looking at him like this, like, make a decision. Tell me what you're going to do so I can figure out how I'm going to spend all this money I'm getting ready to get. And he's like, well, no, that's inappropriate. She's hired to do it. I said, exactly. So maybe you need to go down there and tell her that. And I went sit back down, and he walked down the hall, and he reamed her ass. You can hear him yelling at her down the hall. Next thing you know, she was doing all her work because he was the head of the department. And so then every time I saw her after that, she gave me the evil eye. You know me, I was just like, hey, baby girl, how you doing? How your mama doing? I didn't give a fuck about that misshapen, misbuilt bitch. You got to look like she had a hunchback and stuff. She's built like Shrek, and that's before Shrek even came out. Question number 16. This is a male in the 35 to 41 age group from Charlotte, North Carolina. The female's 42 to 49. Third issue. My girlfriend has money problems, and I'm thinking I should not go ahead with marriage plans. You right. She's 43. I'm 41. She's a single mom with an AA and a big house that she's struggling to afford because she doesn't want to work 5 days a week. So I pay her utilities and buy groceries as well as pay for entertainment and vacation. Well, you stupid. She wants me to either marry her without a prenup. I bet she does. Or pay all her expenses, including her house mortgage. I offered her to stay in an apartment that I bought as an investment, but she refused because 2 bedrooms is too small for her. This bitch, I'm here to ream her ass. And the school district is just average, but I live in the same size apartment next door, and my son goes to that school. What do you think I should do? I should think you should channel your inner Deb and become a savage. So let me see how this would have went. She's like, she wants me to either marry her without a prenup or pay all her expenses, including her mouse money. And I would have had to tell her, girlfriend, I hate to bust your bubble, but your pussy ain't that good that I was going to be doing all of that for you. Now, that's number 1. And then number 2, you ain't my wife. Did you forget? We ain't married. So I'm under no obligation to pay shit for you. I was doing this out of kindness in my heart, but I see now you want to be greedy, so let me stop doing that too. Find me somebody else. I need me a woman who got some damn money. You too broke. Child, I have everywhere I go, Ash. I started working when I was 16. I'm hella old now, so I got many decades of years of experience of working all over the country. So I got stories galore of offices and people whose worlds I rocked. And I come rolling in there, especially when I was in Texas. But my California attitude, they just did not know what to do with me. I have stories I could tell you about that too one day. Them racist ass fucks down there. And when you offered her to stay in an apartment that's too small, she wants to stay in this big ass house. It's like, well, you better either like go and get a whole bunch of work so you look younger, do something about your coochie gang because it ain't on hit to that point where somebody gonna be sprung like that, or find you a sucker to get married to because that ain't me. And then I would be done with her. I don't understand what you're doing. I mean, I know men, you in Charlotte, North Carolina, I know men, Southern men love to take care of their women, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. The problem I'm having is her approach to it, the greed. You offered her to stay in a place that you have 2-bedroom place. She wouldn't have to pay any bills, right? Because you own it. So it's like, what would be the problem? I would have moved there real quick and just rented out my house. But I guess it's some prestige for her or something. I don't know what to say about it. It's her and her kid. That's what more do you need other than 2 bedrooms? Question number 17. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Atlanta. Females 22 to 27. So 28 to 34. Okay. Am I a jerk for taking time off from my fiance? I've been through a tough couple of weeks, and tonight I finally hit a breaking point. I'm 29 and just came back from work to my fiance who's 27. We were sitting at the kitchen table finishing dinner, kind of looking at the polls and not really saying too much. The conversation had been light, small talk, until she loudly mentioned that she had voted for Trump in the last election and this one. When we first started seeing each other, she had said she didn't vote in any election, even in 2016 when she first became eligible. It felt like a gut punch. I tried to brush it off, but it festered in my chest like a knot that would not untangle. This is extremely difficult considering that she knows my situation. For weeks, she's known about my sister, and now she is facing a medical emergency that could be life-threatening. My sister needed an abortion, and the state we live in made access nearly impossible for someone in her situation. I could feel my anger rising as I spoke, the injustice of it, the cruelty of the system, and how to me it was all connected. I couldn't reconcile the person I thought I knew with the person who would vote for someone whose policies were actively working against the rights of people like my sister. How could you vote for someone who wants to make it even harder for people like my sister to get the care she needs? How can we build a life together when you support something so against everything I stand for? She seemed stunned, her face falling as she realized how mad I was. I couldn't look past the fact that we saw the world in two fundamentally different ways. That's right. The person I was meant to share my future with does not share my values when it comes to something this personal, this urgent. I am disgusted and feel it's over. I don't think I can marry someone whose beliefs are so far removed from the realities that I and my family face every day. I was barely able to get the words out, but said, I can't marry someone who doesn't stand up for what matters. She didn't say much and just walked into the guest room. Any advice for me? Yeah, tell her to pack her shit and get the fuck out. You're a smart young man, and people be like, "Well, it's just about election. That doesn't really matter." Yes, it does. He's got the vision to see the big picture here. What she's saying is by voting for someone who is the responsible for her sister being in the position that she's in, is the reason why he could not rightfully align with that, with that kind of vote, that position. What we're looking at right here is their moral paths, their value systems are at opposite ends of the spectrum. You cannot, you cannot have a successful marriage with someone when your values are not in alignment. You don't have to be like the same, okay, for example, you don't have to be the same religion, but your values as far as treating people respectfully, um, being honest, caring, giving back. Also, those are the kinds of things, the values that you have together. You share those, you work together on those. The fact that you go to different churches on Sundays and use different books is irrelevant. Your values are in line. That's what makes a solid marriage. So you can't have somebody who is sister is at death's door because she can't get the termination she needs to live to save herself versus someone who would vote for somebody who, put his sister in that position. So he's looking at her like, that means you basically don't give a fuck about my sister and any other woman in a situation like hers. You just want to just do what you want to do. And so I think he's correct because he knows that, he can't respect her views. He loves his sister and he's looking at what's best for her. It's not Trump and his policies. And did you notice when it comes to abortion stuff, it's always old men who are too old to get somebody pregnant anyway. Just be always trying to regulate on some young woman's womb. Have you guys noticed that? That's what I noticed as soon as all this discussion comes. It's always some old red-headed grandpas trying to tell somebody some young woman what to do with her body. It's every single time. They just want to control all the coochie in the world. Even some that they know they ain't gonna never get because they're too old. It's just interesting to me. But sir, I'm with you 100%. I applaud you on your vision. I know it's not gonna be easy, but you made the correct decision. Get rid of her ass. Question number 18. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Louisville, Kentucky. Summary of issue. I don't want to keep being the designated driver for my drunk ass friends every weekend. I have a group of friends, all of us in our late 20s, who like to go out most weekends, and I kind of enjoy hanging out with them. But since I don't drink much, I usually end up as the designated driver. I didn't mind at first, but now it's become expected, and I rarely ask if I'm okay with it. I end up spending my weekends driving everyone around and sometimes waiting for them until late when they're ready to leave. Last weekend, I told them I wanted a break from driving, suggested they either take turns or arrange for rides. A few of them were annoyed, saying it's easy for me since I don't drink much and that I'm the responsible one. Now they're acting like I'm letting them down by not helping them out, and I feel guilty. Help? Why you feel guilty? You've done it enough times. Are they paying you to do this? To chauffeur them around? They can get a fucking Uber, Lyft, whatever, a cab. I don't care what they get. Rickshaw, whatever. But it's not going to be you. And that's what I tell them. It's like, well, okay, I hear what y'all you're saying, but I've done this like 17 times. That's more than enough. I'm not doing it anymore. Now, when each one of y'all do it 17 times, it will start back with me. But until then, I'm not doing it. So it's like, you didn't say how many people are in this group, but, you count the times you've done it. Say, I've done it this many times. Y'all do it. Each one of y'all do it that many times. And then it'll circle back to me. It'll be my turn again. But my turn right now is done. Okay, so figure it out. That's the fair way to do it. Put it back on them. That makes it sound like you're never willing to do it again, but say each one of them has to do it as much as you did. and it puts a different spin on it. You see how I work that? So yeah, I understand. But since there's this many of us, I think each one of us should take turns. So I've done it blank times. Then which one of y'all want to be next? You gonna do it for blank times, then who's somebody else after that? And then, but when all of y'all take a turn, then come back to me, and we'll start all over again. They'll be like, oh, that's fair, right? That's what you're gonna say to them. It's fair, right? And they'll be like, well, yeah, but no, that's fair. That's how we're gonna do it. So, and if I were you, I'd do something else on Saturday night other than go out drinking. Do you have something else to do with your time? Or should we be going on some dates? Don't you have a girlfriend? Replacement therapy. Oh, theory. Child. Something. I just wouldn't be bothered. I'm just not going to do all of that. Be designated driver. Question 19. We got 25 questions. Thank you, everybody, for sitting in with me. If you have a question that you want to send in to what the fuck whenever, because, it's whatever day I can make it happen. I planned to do it yesterday, but after that webinar, I was exhausted because it was a lot of work to get that ready. Go to Debsterism.com and fill out the form that says Get Advice and submit your question. That's how you get on your question answered on this show. Because, they have a lot of websites. I've heard people be answering questions. Even people having trying to do shows like mine, I understand, right here on YouTube. But I am the GOAT. I was doing it first. I've been doing it the longest. I could do this shit in my sleep. So you figure that out if that's what you want to do. If you want to get answered by young idiots online that don't really have experience, or do you want to get somebody from some wisdom and life experience is going to give it to you straight and tell you what to do step by step. If that's what you need, then you go to Debsterism.com and you fill out the form, you send it in. Okay? That's how we do things. And you can always, hit the subscription button too. That works. Question number 19. She's 28 to 34 from Kansas City, Missouri. The male is also 28 to 34. Summary of issue. I kicked out my boyfriend, but now I kind of feel bad about it. My boyfriend and I have been living together for a year. He moved into my apartment. Well, that's your first mistake. From the beginning, he didn't make an effort to help me with chores, even go so far as to say that I had to ask him multiple times to fulfill the simplest task. The best thing is that he always told me that he will do it, but he never did. He also left his trash everywhere and never seemed to take responsibility to even throw anything of it in the trash can. What? You just leave it laying around? I've had many serious conversations with him about the topic, telling him that I don't feel comfortable at my own house anymore, and I feel like he doesn't respect me or take me seriously. Last Sunday, after serious conversation the day before, it happened again. I returned home after a busy day and I walked in and saw the dishes he told me he would do were still dirty in the sink. Also, a lamp that was standing around since the day he moved in, which I've asked him multiple times to put somewhere, it was still there. I tripped over the lamp, really hurt myself, and then I snapped. I cried for half an hour in the first time in forever, and I wanted to hurt myself. Oh, so you into that shit? I told him to get out. We are still together, but I'm not talking to him, and he's not making an effort to reach out. Am I wrong for kicking him out and not trying to talk to him? I was so upset I may have reacted out of anger. No, you reacted out of feeling like a broken record, telling his ass the same shit over and over and over. As a grown man, you shouldn't have had to tell him not even one time to pick up his trash and to pick shit up off the floor. The fact that you think that, that would make you wrong is kind of interesting. In the future, every woman listen to this. Refresh your page, giggles. In the future, do not ever move a man into your spot. I've said this multiple times. If he's going to be the man, you should be moving into his spot. That's not how it goes. You don't move men into your spot. You don't put men in a position where you're being the provider. That sets you up to be the sugar mama. That's not how you do things. You also don't move in with a man who wants you to move in and pay 50-50. Fuck his 50-50 ass. Let him get a roommate then. It's not going to happen. He wants you to move in so he can have some convenient ass and lower his bill structure and all that old shit. Don't do it. Stay in your place. If you want to save money, get you a female roommate. Move into a two-bedroom place with a female roommate and do it that way. Don't ever make yourself a convenience for a man. He ain't your husband. He shouldn't be getting them privileges. I don't understand why y'all want to like work, be in a relationship and call yourself live. You mean so exciting to live with a motherfucker and be paying 50-50 with his fucking ass. Just letting him use you like that. The worst ones, y'all, the ones that let him move in and you don't even make him pay nothing. Really don't get that. I don't understand that shit at all. Let's move on to question number 20. Female 22 to 27 from El Paso, Texas. Summary of issue. My friend is mad at me because I didn't want her to loan her my new clothes for her vacation. Deb, I recently bought some new clothes for an upcoming trip that I had been planning for months. My friend Gina saw some of the outfits when she came over and asked if she could borrow a few for her own vacation, which is happening before mine. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that since these clothes are brand new. I haven't even worn them myself yet. Gina was upset, saying this, quote, it's just for a short time, and that I could trust her to take care of them. She argued that I could wear them after she's done so that it wouldn't matter, but I really prefer that they stay new for my own trip. Now she's been distant and mentioned to a few friends that I'm being unreasonable. Some of them think I'm doing too much, but I feel like it's fair to keep my new clothes for myself. How would you have handled this situation, Deb? Okay, let me go back to so I don't misquote you. Okay, so she saw them and she asked you could borrow a few from her own vacation. And she says, I told her that I wasn't comfortable with it and because I even worn it myself. I would have said, hell fucking no. I bought these things for me to wear, not for your ass to wear. I'll tell you where I got them. You could go spend your money and buy the exact same thing. But you ain't wearing mine. She's saying it's just for a short time and I could trust her to take care of them. I don't give a fuck. You ain't taking my shit. I'm not loaning it to you now or ever. And you definitely not gonna wear nothing that I bought before I even wear it. It's mine. Or did you forget? And then you got friends think I'm doing too much. Well, tell them, well, you go buy some outfits and let that bitch wear your shit then. You don't get to tell me what to do with my money and my shit. You don't get to do that. So, fuck you, bitch. And then I would hung up the phone and then blocked him too. You know what I mean? I'm not taking that. You're not gonna tell me what to do. Like I said, I don't like people telling me what to do. Like if I have one friend that I ask, we make a joke and say she's my supervisor. I respect her opinion that she's very thoughtful and considerate. And so, and so I say, well, if a situation comes up and I'm like, I don't know what to do, what should I do? And I ask her, but see, I've asked her. But if she just like started trying to tell me, that wouldn't work. But when I ask, then she tells me, I'll be like, oh, because I'm open and receptive to it. But somebody just tell me off the bat and call me up and start trying to tell me what to do, that would never work. I immediately I just turn stupid. I just don't want to hear that. So that's how I would have handled it. And so all the people talking about you doing too much, say, well, you go buy some shit and let the bitch wear your shit then, since you think it's doing too much. But you're not gonna tell me what to fucking do with my money. And that's how that conversation would have ended. But see, I'm the only girl, so my brother's not gonna wear my stuff. I've never had to share my clothes. That's a foreign concept to me. Question number 21. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Southampton in the UK. A male 22 to 27 and a male 50 to 56. Summary of issue. I kicked my brother out of my house after he invited our estranged father over without asking me. I am now 28 and have been estranged from my father, who's 55, for at least 10 years. He was nookily abusive to me growing up. Oh, boy. And after years of therapy and healing, I made the decision to cut him out of my life completely. Good for you. My younger brother is 24. However, he has always maintained a relationship with my father. And while I don't agree with it, I've tried to respect their bond. I've made it clear, though, that I don't want him in my life and I don't want to hear about him. A few weeks ago, my brother visited me at my house. We were hanging out when he suddenly mentioned that he was planning to bring our dad over to, quote, patch things up with me. I was shocked, and I told him that under no circumstances should our father ever come to my house. I even made it clear that I wasn't interested in talking to him ever. Fast forward to yesterday. My brother showed up with my dad anyway. I was furious. I bet you anything the dad been pressuring him to do that. I immediately told them both to leave and told my brother they had completely disrespected my boundaries. My brother tried to apologize, saying he just wanted to fix things and thought this was the best way to do it. I told him he had no right to make that decision for me and that I never wanted to see our father again. My brother left, but now he's texting me saying that I overreacted and that he was just trying to help me heal. When did his ass become Freud? Where he has the medical degree and is a psychotherapist. Ask him where he went to study to get his doctorate in psychology that makes him have the skill set to be able to heal somebody's trauma and suffered childhood abuse. When did that happen? That's how you would shut that shit down. Say, motherfucker, you don't know shit. You don't have the skill set to heal nobody. Shut the fuck up. He says it's not fair to cut off for the chance of reconciliation. It's fair when I say it's fair. Was what he did to me as a child fair to me? See, you siding with the abuser. You know what? You got one more thing to say to try to convince me of some shit, and I'm gonna put you on over there with daddy, and I'm not gonna talk to your ass either. You got one more thing, one more time. Yeah, I'm furious too. The brother's totally wrong. I'm feeling really torn because while I know I'm within my rights and not want him in my life, I also don't want to ruin my relationship with your brother. But he did that. You don't take any blame for that. You told him when he brought it up at your house not to do it, and he did it anyway. But at the same time, my boundaries are important to me. Good for you. Now I'm wondering if I was wrong to kick my brother out of my house before refusing to talk to him. Absolutely not. Because I mean, I wouldn't trust my daddy if he had treated me like that as a kid. What's to say he wouldn't want to pick that behavior right back up and start doing that shit again? Hell to the no. Now the brother's not even instead the brother's stupid. The brother is listening to the daddy and instead of siding with his sister. You need to remind I mean, have you ever told your brother what happened? I mean, see, that's the big question mark. That's the big question mark. Is the brother fully aware of what happened? See, she never said that she told him that. And that's a big question mark in my mind. So if the brother's just thinking, well, they just had a fight and they just not talking. So to him, he's gonna have a different approach to it than if he really knew the details of what his father did to the sister. He might be so I'm thinking she hasn't told him. But girlfriend, if you haven't told him, it's time for you to tell him. Let me give you some details about what your daddy did to me when I was, I don't know, whatever age you were to whatever age it ended. Let me tell you what this motherfucker did so you understand why I don't want to deal with him. And I'm going to tell you this. If you do one more thing that I told you not to do in connection with me and him, I'm also going to put you over there and you and I will never talk again. So this is your one chance. This is the only one you're going to get. You either on my team on this or you on his. So you pick a side and you're going to stay there for the rest of your life. Capiche? So he understands what time it is. But that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't have any proof of it, but my sixth sense is kind of telling me that she's kept that a secret from the brother. Like she's protecting him because he has a relationship with the father and that she, doesn't want to burst his bubble and stuff. But it's time for you to tell him what his hero did. And he just had all the gauntlets, and now the father knows where you live and all this kind of shit, bringing him over there. And like I said, I'm seriously thinking that's why the father pushed for this. And the son is stupid, and so he manipulated into it. But, that's what you have to tell people stuff like that. You don't want to tell your brother you want him living in a bubble of pretense, thinking the father's just so wonderful and perfect. You didn't tell him. You got to tell him. Tell him in details. I know it might be traumatic for you, but he needs to know. Just tell him as much as you're comfortable with. But you got to tell them. Question 22, female 28 to 34 from Milton Keynes in the UK. Oh, we haven't had one from there for a while. The male is 28 to 34. Her issue, my husband and his clumsiness. I've been married for 2 years and we are both 32 now. I'm ready to get your advice about my clumsy husband. He is constantly breaking my things. Losing his belongings, breaking stuff around the house like dishware, furniture, and appliances. Wow. We've had to replace the refrigerator now onto the dishwasher, which stopped working. I would often find pieces of broken glass along with debris and food scraps in it. But it probably could have just got repaired. You shouldn't have needed to replace it. We had discussions multiple times where I explained that having my stuff broken is a big pet peeve for me, and I've asked him to be mindful when manipulating things. He will also leave the oven on and the elements most times after using them. We've talked through this a lot. He understands and apologizes, says he didn't mean to. He doesn't replace or fix things even though I ask him to. We just move on and things don't change one bit. I'm generally hurt and feel bad about how upset I've been getting lately. How do I handle a husband who breaks things on the daily? We're almost out of resources. How else can this be addressed? By divorce. Divorce. See, don't you think it's kind of interesting that the shit that he breaks is all the shit that belongs to you? You don't feel that that's the problem here. You don't think that this is some kind of campaign he's on of weaponized incompetence so that he ends up to you just saying, well, I'll just do everything because you're just going to fuck it all up and break things. You don't think that that's the ultimate goal here. I do. I think that's why he's doing it on purpose. He's doing it intentionally. Nobody breaks that many things, and no one in the world as an adult is that incompetent. Even teenagers aren't that incompetent. So he's doing this with intent and purpose, and he has a goal. Like I said, and usually it's because they don't want to do anything in the house, and so by doing everything they can to make it horrible, you say, "Never mind, just sit down on the couch. I'll do it," because all you do is break things. That's the goal. So that's why I'm getting a divorce. People are like, well, you should just say you should get a divorce. Why not? When you see, this is the thing. Like, remember the video I did that was my last Sunday sermon about people wishing and hoping that stuff is going to be different just because they wish and hope it? At some point in your life, you have to accept that it is what it is. People are what they are. They're not going to change. So if you've been with a man for years and you've been telling the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, and nothing has changed, well, wouldn't that be kind of a clue to you that this is going to stay this way? Now, if them staying this way is not what you want, that's not the kind of relationship that you want, it's making you miserable, it's making you unhappy, please explain to me why you would stay in that relationship. I don't care that you're married. If you have someone who's making you miserable, you've asked them over and over again to stop making you miserable, and yet they continue to keep making you miserable, and especially when they're doing it by choice with intent, then you would be a fool to stay in that marriage. Sometimes men do stuff and like I said, they always behave in a raggedy way because they want you to break up. They want you to have enough confidence and self-esteem and show enough pride in yourself as a woman and have boundaries that's strong enough that you say, you know what, fuck this shit and fuck you too, and I'm out. They're looking for you to do that because at least when you guys split up, they can respect you. But when you don't, and you make him he just keeping you worse and worse and worse, and you stay and stay and stay, and you don't leave anyway, then at some point, he's just like, well, damn, she's stupid and desperate. And so they just keep dogging you more and more and more until you finally get a clue. And sometimes it's, they get another woman and then they leave you because you didn't have enough pride in yourself to leave him. I would have been gone because, it's like you tearing about you breaking up my shit. I don't like that. It's like when you're the only girl, you just, I don't know. My brothers didn't really mess with my stuff. The one time one of my brothers did, the oldest one, he was terrible. He took the head off of one of my Barbies or one of them little dolls like that and put a firecracker inside and blew my doll up. And the doll, it was like bits and pieces of my doll. We was at the beach in San Francisco. It was bits and pieces of my doll over the place. I went crying to my dad. He beat my brother's ass. And they bought me a new doll on the way home. But I was like, who does stuff like that? My brother, he's still a trip, but not that bad of one like he used to be when he was younger. Just crazy. But yeah. Question 23. We got 25 questions today, so we're nearing the end of this sordid drama. You think it's funny, Ash? I was like, Daddy, Daddy. And not showing him the bits and pieces of my doll over the beach. He was like, oh my God. Grabbed my brother and beat his ass. That's what he got. Question 23. She's 28 to 34 from San Jose. Summary of issue. Let me tell you about how I had to drop my friend after we took a vacation together, and she did some shit that I just did not like. There are a lot of key factors in this, but I'll try to make it simple because I know you hate them long letters. You right. We've had a lot of them lately. So, Deb, I was invited to go on vacation with a coworker, friend. I obliged. It was extremely stressful 4 days of her making me make all the decisions. She was always sleeping late, so our day of adventuring would start at a late time. Therefore, some of the stuff we didn't get to do. She barely ate, so I had to sort of plan around her one meal a day so that I could still eat when I wanted to. Then one night we were going to go to a water park. I got extremely overwhelmed when she sprung it on me that she wanted to go to 2 water parks in the span of 3 hours. Whereas I initially thought we were just going to go to one and then go up to a swim-up bar. I sat in silence for 15 minutes trying to decide which one to go to first, with no help from her. Oh, so she want to invite you on a trip and then you have to do all the work? I finally figured out and got ready to go. The shuttle the resort provided us wasn't answering the phone at all, but every time I hung up, she kept repeating that we would have to walk. Mind you, to get to where we were going, we would have to walk like 6 to 7 football field lengths to get there in swimsuits. And then it would be a wet swimsuits after. I finally hung up the last time and simply said I simply didn't want to go. So she went alone and I went back to the room. I sat down and finally realized I can get through this. So I got myself an Uber and texted her to see where she was. She said she went back to the room. I invited her to come down with me and told her I was going to get a drink. She declined to stay in the room, so I made a Facebook post of the ridiculously large drink I got. Then was communicating with her about the issues at hand in regard to the evening. She said that she was fine, there was no issue. I apologized anyway. We made a plan to go to water parks again in the morning. Upon returning to the room, she informed me in a joking manner that her friend sent her a screenshot of my Facebook post and told her that she should leave me at the resort in another state. I played it off, but that really did not feel great to hear. Fast forward to our last day. I was off work and she wasn't. I got a call later that night from a friend that she had gone around to almost all of our coworkers and complained about me, slandering my character and throwing me under the bus for things that were either in the past or when she would encourage me to vent in the heat of the moment where I was upset about something dumb. I had to talk to 2 different people to communicate what happened so they didn't just think I was saying things that weren't true. Now I have cut contact as much as I can and informed her that I don't wish to be friends anymore. She kept asking me why, saying that she had ill intentions toward me. She would have never taken me anywhere. I told her I was done. Our entire friend group is in shambles because she won't stop trying to talk about the drama. Meanwhile, I'm minding my own business and only speaking when spoken to. One person yesterday said they just wish we could all just be friends. Well, I get that to them. That would be easier. I have no intention of repairing the friendship because I don't trust her anymore. Okay, so where's the question, though? If brother has nail polish, he asked me to help him pick out his earrings. Yes, I could do that. Let's start with this. Let's start at the end and work backwards. Why are you, as old as you are, still have a friend group? Why do we talk about this every week? Is this a Gen Z thing that they run around in packs like fucking dogs with the friend group? I just don't get it. Every time they talk about a friend group, it's always some bullshit and drama. I just don't understand it. What the point of all of that is? You're adults. You should have 1, maybe 2 friends. You have groups. What the fuck for? That's just asking for drama and trouble. It just never works out. You get too old, and then people start tripping. It's great when you're a teenager or something to go out and have group dates and whatnot. It's safer for kids. You're on the downturn to 30. You on the downturn to 40. You don't need no damn friend group. As you see, it's just a bunch of bullshit and tension and drama. Yeah. Well, she said coworker / friend. But see, that means she made a friend with somebody who she worked with. That's a no-no. Keep that shit at work. Oh, okay. I don't know. There's really no question here, so I'm just going to move on. I just think that, you need to rethink this friend group thing. And you also need to stop trying to be friends outside of work with people that are at work. Keep at work. Associate with them at work, and you'll be good. Question number 24 is our next to last question. That's what I think, Giggles. That's what it seems like from what we keep hearing. She's female, 50 to 56, from Nottingham in the UK. So I have an issue. My living partner wants my adult sons to ring the doorbell before letting themselves in. I have 2 adult sons in their late 20s who both live nearby. And as far as I'm concerned, my home is their home. It's where they grew up. They don't stay long when they visit, but pop in most days if they're passing by or on their way home from work. And we usually only call in for 10 or 15 minutes, which I think is lovely that they do. My partner of 3 years moved in about a year ago and is really uncomfortable with them just walking through the front door. Would like me to ask them to call first and to use the doorbell. He thinks it's unusual to, as he puts it, just burst through the front door. But I like that they feel they belong here and can come and go as they please. Well, you're stupid. Is this a red flag? He seems to get on fine with both boys and wants me to treat them like guests in their family home. But I do get that this is his home too now. I have refused, but it's causing arguments every time they come. Well, see, because you're stupid. Okay, this is a grown ass man, and you invited him to move into the house with him because now that's half his house. Men don't walk into other men's homes like that. That's the part you're not getting. You know, if their father had been alive and still been there or whatever, they wouldn't be doing that shit because daddy wouldn't have allowed it. You don't walk into another grown man's house like that. That's the part you just don't seem to get. You ring the doorbell and you wait to be admitted. Or you call and say, we're coming in, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Is that okay? And he'll say yes or no. You'll say yes or no. Knowing you're going to always say yes, though. That's how you do things properly and show your partner respect. But the way that you're doing it, you're not showing him any respect at all. It's like, well, this is my house. Motherfucker, it's going to be my way. These are my kids, and you're just going to like it. That's the attitude that you have. So you're not hearing him. You're not understanding what he's feeling. And the boys need to have that message communicated to them as well, so that when they have kids, they understand what time it is. This is a man thing. You need to stay the fuck out of it. You tell the boys, from now on, he lives here too now. It was fine when it was just me, but now we have to take someone else's feelings into consideration and respect the other resident of the home. That's what you need to tell your fucking sons. Say, so you need to ring the doorbell and wait to be admitted. We don't mind you stopping by, but we just need to do the. They've already they talked to each other already. She's telling her what he likes, and she says they argue about it every time the kids come. So see, lady, you're not treating your dude with respect here at all. You just doing what the fuck you want to do. You're gonna keep it up and you're gonna lose him. I mean, that might not be, you might not care. Might want your sons more. That's always a problem with women who have sons. You put your son ahead of your man. And here you are doing it again, and you just cannot for the life of you seem to understand the violation to this man that it is, and now that this is his house too. Like if I lived there with you, I would want them just running in. What if I'm running around I dash to the kitchen or the laundry room because I needed something, I'm in my underwear, and here come your grown ass sons into the house just barging in. That's inappropriate. The only one who doesn't see it that way is you. Them boys know that that's not right. I don't know why they only doing that shit because you letting them. They can see it's causing a rift. You need to stop this. Fix yourself. Fix your attitude because it's all kinds of fucked up. Question number 25. This is our final question of the day. Thank God. Females 28 to 34 from Tucson, Arizona. Males 35 to 41. So he's older. Okay. Serve issue. I'm upset that my boyfriend didn't invite me to Thanksgiving at his family, making me be alone. Okay, that's right. Here we go. We headed into holiday season. We're going to be getting letters the next month or two about Thanksgiving and Christmas. So-and-so didn't give me no Christmas presents. They got me something from the Dollar Tree. And I got them $500, whatever. It's every year. Every year. Okay, so he didn't bring her. He didn't invite you to Thanksgiving. He's going to make you be by yourself. We've been dating for almost a year, and he's met some of my family, but I've never met any of his. Oh, there's a reason for that. That's a good pick. I asked him if he wanted to come over and hang out with me on Thanksgiving since I won't have anywhere to go that day and I didn't want to spend it alone. I have a 10-year-old daughter, but she's spending Thanksgiving with her dad this year. He responded by saying that he would, but he has to go to his family's house. I hung up and we haven't talked since. That happened yesterday. I'm feeling really hurt he didn't invite me to come with him or offer to come over after his family's house. And I'm not sure if I'm being sensitive or such in things because this is a sign that I'm more serious about him than he is about me. Well, most definitely, that's what. Thank you for reading that correctly. He says, I got to go to my family's house. He's supposed to say, let me call my mother and make sure that, it's okay that I can bring a guest. The fact that he didn't offer to do that makes me suspect one of two things. Either they don't know that he's dating you at all and they think he's still single and they're going to be hooking him up with somebody, perhaps at Thanksgiving. Or you're the girlfriend in the cut. You're the side chick. And he has a main chick that he's bringing to the Thanksgiving dinner and that the family all knows about. It's one of those two things. Okay. Either they're hooking him up with somebody because they think he's single and available, or he already has somebody and that's why you can't come because the main chick's going to be there. So it's one of them two. You figure that out. Think about it, ruminate on it, and then you make a decision about what you want to do. Because if you've been dating over a year and you've never met any of his family, there's a reason for that. Usually, I mean, you meet a dude, they're gonna be starting to introduce you to their friends and family just within a week or two. So, when you like to meet the parents, especially if they live far away. But, you might talk to him on the phone, Zoom, and he'll be talking on Zoom. He gonna swing the phone over there. Oh, this is so and so. This is who I'm dating now. Da da da. They're gonna do something. There's gonna be some kind of introduction made. The fact that he decided and hide you for a whole year, you should have been suspicious about this long ago. Sound like you just a side chick to me. Yes, the chick Christmas. You right. Christmas dinner time. Yeah, this is this is just the first of the onslaught that's coming. Every year it's the same thing. So I think you're right in that it is time to consider ending this because it doesn't sound like it's going to go anywhere. And at your age, you're too old for that. You're not trying to have them kind of situations where you just a placeholder. The side piece, the side chick. That's not it. That ain't the lick. All right, so we're done here. Monday is a holiday. It would be nice if I could get my act together and do a show, wouldn't it? I don't know if I can. Uh, we'll see. I thought I was gonna be able to do one last Sunday, but I went and had brunch with some friends, and we got to drink and share what they call them things, mimosas. That was all she wrote. I made it home, and I was like, oh, I can't do it, and I laid down, and that was the end of that. So that's why we didn't have a show Sunday after all. I had every intention of it until that brunch happened. I said, okay, well, that's the end of that. So anyway, that's the show for tonight. Thanks to everybody for spending Friday evening with me. I hope you have a fabulous weekend and a wonderful Veterans Day. Pay respect for them folks that go out and protect the borders and protect the country for us. Thank you very much for listening. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscription button, the instant notification bell, and we will see you very soon.